You've complimented her. She smiled. She said thank you. And then, nothing changed. I know what you did. You told her she was beautiful. You said she looked great. Maybe you even threw in amazing or stunning. And you meant it. But something didn't land. Here's what nobody tells you. The compliments that actually create attraction, they're not the ones you've been taught to give. 500 years ago, Machiavelli wrote something that changes everything about how humans connect. He said the path to someone's heart isn't through what they already know about themselves. It's through showing them what they didn't realize you noticed. Today, I'm showing you the 8 compliments that actually work. Not flattery, not empty praise, real recognition that shifts how she sees you. First, let me show you why everything you've tried hasn't worked. Principle 1. Compliment unique personal qualities. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When you compliment her appearance, you're competing with every other guy who has eyes. "You're beautiful" is background noise. She's heard it 1,000 times. It means nothing. Machiavelli understood something brutal about human nature. In The Prince, he noted that people value most what they believe is rare, not what's obvious, not what everyone can see, what's uniquely theirs. Think about it this way. When you notice her appearance, you're noticing the same thing the grocery store cashier, the Uber driver, and her Instagram followers notice. You're just another observer. But when you say, "I love how you get completely absorbed when you're talking about architecture," or "the way you defend your friends, even when they're wrong," that's rare. You've just done something different. You noticed what she doesn't even fully see about herself. Principle 2. Recognition of emotional impact. Here's where it gets worse. Most guys compliment at women. They say nice things to her, but attraction doesn't happen when you observe her. It happens when you reveal how she affects you. Rousseau wrote in The Social Contract about the power of mutual recognition, not one-sided praise, not patronizing assessment, the moment when someone shows you that you've changed their reality. When you say, "I make you think differently about everything," or "I'm calmer when you're around and I don't know why," you're not flattering her, you're letting her see her power. And here's what Machiavelli knew. People become attached to those who show them their own impact, not their prettiness, their effect. Say this with me. I compliment her impact, not her image. But here's where everything you think you know gets turned upside down. Principle 3. Valuing authenticity and character. You've been taught to make her feel good, to boost her confidence, to validate her. Stop. That's not what creates attraction. Thomas Hobbes, who basically systematized everything Machiavelli discovered, wrote in Leviathan about what humans actually crave. Not validation, being truly known. Here's the flip. When you compliment her authenticity, "I love that you don't pretend to like things you don't," or "You're the only person I know who actually says what they mean," you're doing something most people are terrified to do. You're seeing past the performance. And that's intimate in a way you're gorgeous will never be. Because here's what nobody tells you. Beautiful women are complimented on their beauty constantly, but their character, their realness, that's rarely acknowledged because most men are too busy performing their own character to notice hers. Principle 4. Acknowledging intellectual attributes. Every dating coach tells you to make her feel, to be emotional, to avoid being too cerebral. They're wrong. Montesquieu, in The Spirit of the Laws, identified something crucial about power dynamics. Respect creates sustainable attraction, and you can't respect someone whose intelligence you ignore. When you say, "The way you break down problems, I've never seen anyone think like that," or "You just changed my entire perspective in one sentence," you're not being a suck-up, you're acknowledging that her mind matters, not her looks, not her sweetness, her intellect. And here's the pattern interrupt. Pause. Everything I just said? That's only the surface. Because there's one thing Weber understood about human connection that changes the entire game. Repeat after me. Her mind is more magnetic than her face. And once you see what comes next, you can't unsee it. Principle 5. Highlighting presence and energy. Here's what actually works. Max Weber studied charisma and presence as forms of legitimate power, not formal authority, not beauty, energy. When you say, everything feels lighter when you walk in, or you have this way of making everyone feel like they matter, you're naming something she creates but doesn't control, her presence. This is the synthesis. Machiavelli saw that people are drawn to those who notice their power. Hobbes understood that being known is deeper than being praised. Montesquieu showed us that respect builds sustainable bonds. And Weber? He revealed that presence is magnetic precisely because it's unconscious. You're not complimenting what she does, you're naming what she is. Principle 6. Appreciating effort and drive. Here's the framework that makes sense of everything. Sustained attraction isn't built on what someone has, it's built on who they're becoming. When you notice the way you commit to things, even small things, that's rare. Or, I see how hard you work, even when no one's watching. You're acknowledging the part of her she's most proud of and least recognized for. Aristotle wrote about excellence as habit, not talent, not luck, repeated choice. When you compliment her effort, you're seeing the work behind the result. And that's intimate. Principle 7. Emotional intelligence and connection. Tacitus, the Roman historian, wrote about something he called cognitive sympathy, the ability to sense what others feel before they speak it. When you say, "You knew I was off before I said a word," or "You read situations better than anyone I know," you're not giving empty praise, you're naming a gift. Emotional intelligence isn't soft, it's strategic. Machiavelli knew this. The best leaders weren't the strongest, they were the most perceptive. And when you recognize her perception, you're showing her that you're perceptive too. Principle 8. Deepening attraction through genuine attention. Here's the truth they all discovered, from Machiavelli to Weber. Attraction isn't created by grand gestures, it's created by noticing. Not complimenting her hair, noticing that she touches her necklace when she's nervous. Not saying she's smart, saying, "You remember details about conversations from months ago." Not telling her she's special, showing her that you pay attention in a world where nobody else does. You came here thinking compliments were about saying the right words. Now you see, they're about revealing what you've actually noticed. Machiavelli saw the game. Humans value what's rare. Hobbes built the theory. Being known creates bonds. Montesquieu designed the safeguards. Respect sustains attraction. Weber completed it. Presence and attention are power. And now you understand all four. If this shifted something in you, if you felt that click of recognition, this isn't meant to stay hidden. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Like it if it resonated. Subscribe because there's more you need to know. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but few can feel." Be one of the few who feels. Be someone who notices. That's how you become unforgettable.